Everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Tara with Mayhem Crafty Cards, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my second submission for Craft Roulette. Now, this was episode 301 with Carrie Rhodes, and the parameters for this card were the project was appreciation card, the colors were Apple Farm, elements were silhouette, and random was to use an old product. So what I did was I used my Lawn Fawn postage rectangular stackables. I used the three largest size, one in like a teal, a coral, and then of course the white. And then I used the Thanks die from Lawn Fawn. I'll have to look up what it's actually called and listed in the description box. The greenery I used from a die, it's a greenery die from Trinity Stamps that I got in my grab bag. So it came in super handy. And I cut two of those out in black. So this was a really simple and quick card to put together. Um, you just layer the three rectangles on top of each other. And then what I did was I took the greenery and put them on either side of the white panel to make my silhouette, which was probably the trickiest part of this whole thing for me. But I really enjoyed putting this card together. And once I figured out what I was doing, I think that's the hardest part, is trying to figure out what project you're going to make and how you can combine all the parameters together. Now I did offset that yellow with the black thanks just to give it a little more dimension than just the yellow slapped on there. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to kind of racks your brain. Sometimes it makes your brain hurt. I made a purse card for last week's episode, and I really enjoyed it. And it wasn't a traditional purse. So as I'm just offsetting it just the tiniest bit, just so that you can, it'll pop a little bit more on that white center. And this is an A2 size card. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that from beforehand. This is A2 size, so you will get that nice little border around that biggest rectangle piece. So I wish I could remember the cardstock that I use. I just grabbed these out of my scraps and kind of put them together, kind of just fell in place for me. So if you have not seen Craft Roulette, it is really very interesting to watch. I enjoy it on Friday nights. It does give me something to do. It gives me, it makes me think outside of the box, which I really enjoy. So I just glued those two down, or just glued the peachy coral down, and I'm going to actually pop up that white, the smallest white rectangle piece. I'm going to place my greenery on either side of the white just so that I can put my thanks kind of right in the middle. Now for the original card that I made, I did add some Trinity Stamps bling on the side just to give it, I just felt like I just needed something. This is really hard for me because normally my cards are more elaborate, I guess. And it was a nice kind of change to make something so quick and so simple. And really, there was no coloring at all. So this would be a super cute card to reproduce quickly. Um, like I said, the longest part of this whole process was just die cutting out the pieces. And it was really, really fun to put together. And I really struggled until it all started to fall in place. And then I really enjoyed the creation that I made. So make sure you go over and check out Craft Roulette. I mean, it's fun, get you thinking outside the box. Um, it's every Friday at 7 o'clock, but it's just, I mean, it gives you something to do. It's there's a lot of nice people there, which you don't find very often in the craft world. So yeah, so now I'm just laying down my foam, and these are 2 millimeter black foam strips from scrapbook.com. Um, I've been messing around with my camera angles. I'm sorry that you could see the light in there, but it really did kind of help a lot. So I just put 3 strips in. I do like the 2 millimeter black just because it gives it a little bit of depth without it being too much. And then what I do after I peel off my release paper is I did cut off the little stems just so it would match up to those stitch lines there. But I've always put glue liquid glue on the back of my adhesive strips because I never lay anything down perfectly. So I need to have that wiggle room. Now, since there was so much dimension with the things, I just went ahead and just glued that guy down there. It didn't need any more dimension than what I had already put on there. So it's nice to have just that extra little pop off the card so everything's not so completely flat. So yeah, this card literally took me no time at all. And if you are looking for something to do, something to watch on Friday nights, go and check out Craft Roulette. So far, I've really enjoyed it over there. Everybody is super kind and super nice. I enjoy thinking outside the box. It does help a little bit. Now, I did take a piece of white paper in one of my glass bore studio magnets just to make sure that it adhered really well before I put it on my already stacked elements. So if you have those magnets, they are super strong and they are not going anywhere. Like it's so nice to have. So now that I have that thanks down there really well, I'm going to go ahead and add my liquid adhesive to my foam strips because it does. It gives me that wiggle room so that way if I don't place it straight the first time, then I can move it without it like ripping up my paper. So I guess I'm an over adheser. So once that's done, I didn't put this on a card base just yet because I wasn't sure if I wanted to add more bling to it or not. But this is, I mean, like I said, it was super simple. This is probably one of my shortest videos I've made in quite a while. It was just a super quick process. I mean, I really honestly didn't cut very much out other than just the die cutting. So yeah, go check out Craft Roulette. It will get you, it really will get you thinking out